In the previous episode, we placed a whole bunch of redstone bits, cauldrons, and water bottles, which made up the insides of this counter right behind me, which we use to count the city's population, aka you guys, the subscribers. And in this week's episode, we finally put a structure over this dirt factory, making it an actual complete dirt factory, but we will also take a look at some footage of new citizens actually constructing their houses in the city. And after all of that's done, we might even add one or two additional contraptions within the dirt warehouse. Yeah, I never thought adding a population counter would have such a dramatic effect on the city. You see, no time was wasted. Shortly after we added the counter, the population started to increase, and with the increase in population, there was a housing boom. And I would like to show you guys just exactly how efficient these new citizens are. So just take a little look at this footage of them building their new houses. And aren't these new citizens just efficient? I mean, look at the new area. So we added some more shadow stacks to this thing, and they're not really part of the overall shadow stacks there that we have in that area. So these might just be some, well, I guess stacks. And some of these buildings you can access, you can go into them, there's nothing really happening in them. They're more just here for aesthetic purposes, well, at the moment. And I think they look quite neat. So if we jump into free cam, let's just have a look. Yeah, I like it. It just feels like it rounds off this whole area a lot better, instead of just having this little counter float over, well, I want to say nothing. I think it looks really, really cool. And to all of you, thank you so much for being part of this little in-game activity where we can add you as the subscribers, as citizens, to the city. So be sure to smash that subscribe button if you haven't done so yet, so you can become part of the city population. So now that we have the new stacks in that area and we've got all of that looking a little bit better, the next structure I want to tackle is this one over here. It's time for us to finally build a factory over this whole dirt farm, and I've had a request in the past where people ask me, how do I go about building and designing these structures? So to do that, we need to head on over to one of the other worlds. And that world is this one over here. Okay, I know it looks a lot like the one we were in, but it's not. You see, between every episode, I make a backup of my world. I then make a copy of it, and then one of them becomes the new creative world. Sometimes I don't always make a new creative world, but most of the time. So this one, in fact, is exact replica of the world, or in its current state, as a creative world, which allows me to immediately start designing the next building with all the other components in place already. And to show you guys a little example, here's the new stacks. So what I did is I would design it in this little area, build it in creative, see what it looks like. Then I'll copy it out and bring it into the void somewhere where I can then go ahead and clean up the schematic to only make it so that it takes the blocks we require to build the schematic and not unnecessary basalt and stuff like that. And to give you guys another example, we can head on over to a previous creative world, and this is my creative world from the 21st of March. So you guys can see it also again almost looks exactly the same, but there's a bunch of stuff that's not here. For example, we don't have the counter, we don't have the stacks down there. We've got a structure in this area that was me fooling around with having an entrance to the power station, which is also, like you guys can see, nothing's happening in here. And this is before I opted to do the dirt farm in this area, but also all the other things. So what I would do is I would generally mark out where I would like the shadow stacks, for example, and then I build the different blocks or the different containers, and then from that I pull them into like quite a few different varieties. So here's another one we did where there's actually a blue container as well, which if I look at it now, I do like that. But there's a granite one, and I play around with colors and textures quite often and just the way it looks. And when we have a final one, I'll pull it to the side again, so we never work on the previous one. It's almost like a save as copy this, that I'll then edit and detail and all of those things. And a lot of the time this does not even match what we build in the city for the survival world. So I do have a bunch of iterations, and like you guys can see here, we've got the dirt farm where I just planned a bunch of stuff, and we've got the contraption in here, and again it's not the same, it's flipped around. We've got the dirt placement on this side, plows always in the middle, but the drill's on this side. So I have a bunch of these creative worlds with quite a few different things in. Like this is one of my favorite things I've built so far, and it has no purpose yet. I was just sitting and I wanted to do something different, and this is what I came up with. So this might make its way into the city as what, I'm not sure yet, but let's head back to the newer creative world that I just showed you. Okay, so we're back here in the current creative world, and I'm going to show you guys how I plan my buildings and stuff like this. So this one works a bit different. Sometimes I've got an empty building and I just fill it with a contraption, but because I wanted this contraption to be unique, I built the contraption first and then I go in and plan the building. So what I'll generally do is I will first mark out the buildings and the structures, and when I did this like Netherrack, I kind of went and did what I already knew I wanted to do, and that was to create separate buildings. So I think initially I said I wanted this to be a certain height like that, and I would then go ahead and mark out exactly where the structure will be, where this part will be, and where this will be in different colored wool. So once I'm done mocking out with wool, this is basically what I'm left with. I'm left with a general idea of what I want the building to be shaped like. I've got different builds marked in different colors. I choose a color wool for windows and for floors. Green's usually greenery, and then this I thought maybe we can do 2 windmills. I'm not really sure yet. They will be there only for aesthetics and not really have a function, but it's still okay. It's a moving bit. So this is then the general idea. So what I do then is I would generally take this, make a copy and place it somewhere in the void, and I use world edit. So just like that, we're gonna place it over into the void, and then we'll have something like this. So if you're not playing in a void world, you can place it somewhere on the ground or in the sky or whatever works best for you. For me, it's placing them in the void because then I've got a cleaner canvas to work from. So at this point, all depending on your knowledge of your build or your contraption, you could either delete everything inside, like just rip it out and then you can build around it, or if you're not sure where the parts go, leave the contraption in for now. You can always delete it later. I'm gonna keep it for now because I'm just scared I start to build something here and I break the entire contraption. But once you've got this, now you can start working and playing around with your block palette and trying to find something that works for you, which is basically something as simple as this. So I just went ahead and blocked out the different areas in the bricks I think I'm going to use. And again, this is not final. I might rip it out, change it completely. I might change my mind about where I have windows or what the floor looks like or any of those things. But now you have a working structure with everything inside of it. I used, in this case, basalt for where I think I want to place girders and support structures like that. And now I've got this, I can start looking at detailing and everything like that. I sometimes do texturing before I do detailing, but sometimes I feel like detailing first, then I do detailing, because for me, texturing is not my favorite. I love how it looks when it's done, but it's not really something I love. So let's hop on over to that build, which is one where I added some more detail and changed a bunch of things. And this is a prime example. So right over here, I've got dusk bricks, where over there I had them as the normal limestone bricks. And I just like the idea of having the dusk bricks and then still having the limestone as this wraparound little edge. But over here you can see I added some windows, I added some details, some trims and stuff like that, and now we've got a lot more of a detailed build. We've got little structures like this, which is also detail, and it's just these little things that bring it all to life. And again, this is an example of where I had two windmills, and now I've got this one which doesn't really look like a windmill, and I don't think it's going to be a windmill. It's more like a sonar or radar or something like that. But that's the idea. And then you can chip away at the existing build, add some bricks, add some stairs and all those different things. And it's starting to look a lot more like a build, which is the really fun part. But now the last part is the super detailing, the texturing and all of those things. And instead of showing you guys the next step right over here, I think we should head on over to the survival world. And when you're in the survival world, well, you'll typically take your blueprint that you made in your creative world, you'll place it in the right area, you get yourself a clipboard, and you see all the materials we need. So we needed 13 pages of resources. I've already went ahead and gathered everything because it took way longer than a video would allow. And now we can actually just plonk everything into a schematic cannon and get this ready. So why don't you guys sit back, relax as we roll a little build montage. And here we have it, the brand new Dirt Factory. And I'm gonna just say it again, I love it. I love it, and it might be another favorite. Just the detailing, the pipes and everything. But if we hop on into FreeCam real fast, we can just have a little look at this building, and I really do like the shape and everything. It still needs something in this spot that ties all of this power and this building together, maybe some big pipes or something. But apart from that, I do like the shape of the little pot up here and the way it looks. And in this thing, this solar satellite panel thing, I love this, and it's got something to it that I'll show in a minute. But over here we have this rooftop that will have its little own garden, and that is that little pod's personal garden. And we might add a secondary ladder at the back here as soon as we start populating this whole area with buildings. But if we hop on in to normal cam and we just run up the stairs, we can see the two different areas. On this side we have the area where we placed it, and I did fill it up, and I moved the switches in here. These are the switches that are down there currently, so if these work we can remove those. And then over here we've got the plow system, and on this side we've got the gathering system. The storage for this is still on the outside. We will move it in as soon as we figured out everything else. But let's first push this button to see if we trigger. Okay, so we do trigger placement. Oh, and then I love that little detail, the little banners. That's actually to be like little flaps like you get on conveyor belts and stuff. So I like that little detail, but over here it will stop. It should plow. It plows. And then it should move on to the last stage, which is the harvesting. And if that works, then it means we did not break anything in the construction of this factory, which I'm relieved about. But let's see. Drilling. And done. Okay, so another thing I added is this little staircase on the side of here so we can see everything from the top. It needs to... Ooh, those trapdoors are going to flap the whole time. Oh, okay, we might remove those. But right over here, we've got this little walkway at the back, which is kind of like a service walkway. And it goes back down on this side. It's going to continue its process. And if we head on up here, we enter this little pod. Now, in this pod, I want to add a little... mechanical crafter that will craft us some coarse dirt, ensuring that the system is full all the time. So that's going to go into this area, and we can just pull power up from behind that wall, because the power, I do believe, runs right behind that. And then if we head on over here, we'll come back to that just now. I'm so excited. We have this little area, which is the greenhouse, and the first thing I want to do is I just want to right click this. Will it connect? I think we need to glue it first. So let's grab our super glue, and we're just going to glue all of... We need to glue all of this together. Will I be able to? There we go. Are we reaching the very top? I don't know. We'll see just now. And then this will just go over that way. Did we get the very, very tippy top? We did not. Okay, let me quickly do that. Okay, so now if we right click it, it should turn. It will turn really slow, and I don't mind it because the radars usually turn a lot slower, and it's just another moving object. So it does produce power, not a lot, but I honestly don't mind. So that's quite a nice little addition to this area. The next one is this one over here. So this one over here, I'm pretty excited about. So first of all, we need to head on up here. I do have a little service ladder. And if we head on over here, we need to make sure that we open these two flaps. And do I have more ladders? I have one more. One more should be more than enough. If we do that, we need to ensure that this is set to only place when anchor is destroyed. Only place when anchor is destroyed. And we can close that down. So now that that's done, we can head on down the ladder into this area, and this is the cool part. So if we were to spin this, that will actually move. So I'm going to see if I can do it in replay mode. So while I talk, we will spin over there. So if I spin this, does this turn? It does. Now we just need to get it to the perfect position. Like that. I think that's perfect. Let's quickly head on over here just to see. Yeah, look at that. That looks super. Oh man, I love it. And if we wanted to, we could even have it rotate this way, so it actually faces at a diagonal. But this is a cool start. This is really, really awesome. Oh man, I love it. I love it so much. So that is everything in this area, and we do need to add a bunch of contraptions to this building still, like the one that creates the coarse dirt. I also want to add one that creates grass blocks, not glass blocks, grass blocks. But for now, I'm not going to have time to do those, and just like that, we also don't have time to add the storage. So I really love this building, and let me know down in the comments, do you like it, and what do you think of the satellite, and what is your favorite part of this building? Yeah, let me know down in the comments. I love it. I love it so much. So even though we finished the dirt factory, there is one more thing that I would like to do, and that is to update the population counter. It is time for us to update it, and I would not really update it normally, but it's a special update. You see, we gained 54 new citizens. That's 54 new subscribers over on the channel, which, believe it or not, it pushes us over our goal, which I'm so totally grateful for. I appreciate it so much. So with that said, let's update the population counter. There we have it. 10,000 subscribers. And not only that, I actually think we're standing on 10,024. I would like to say thank you to every single one of you again. I appreciate it so much, and like mentioned in the previous episode, 10,000 was never a goal I ever envisioned for myself, but here we are, and I'm super excited about the next goal. So I want you guys to tell me as well down in the comments. I'll also do a community poll. What should we make our next goal for subscribers and citizens? 15,000, 25,000, or only 50,000? I do believe the next big one is 100,000, but for me, the smaller milestones, they really keep me motivated. So let me know down in the comments. And again, thank you so much. Oh, and we will plan some form of event maybe over the weekend. I just need to get through this week first. All the way from over here by this pod, I would like to say thank you so much again. I really appreciate it. And if you did like this video, then do remember to like and subscribe if you have not done so yet. And down in the comments, give me an update on what you guys think the next goal should be and your favorite part of today's build. Take care. Bye for now. Till next time. Bye for now.